You guys. So I'm going to talk about the top 3 things from my perspective that you have to do in your child custody case, the very, very important things. So number 1 is docketing. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the word docketing. What docketing means is essentially calendaring. And that's one of the first things that I teach in the 21-day child custody challenge is getting yourself a good calendar and keeping track of all the deadlines in your case, because you will do or die by the deadlines. If you miss an important deadline, then you could really mess yourself up. It could really change your case. You could end up losing some important rights. So you have to look to your court's minute entries to find out if there are deadlines in those minute entries. You have to look at your local rules and your state rules to find out the deadlines for things like responding. You have to keep track of those deadlines. Very, very important. When you're getting ready for trial, you have to be sure and you disclose according to the court's deadlines. You have to submit pretrial statements by the court's deadlines and submit exhibits by the court's deadlines. So that's number 1, is docketing, keeping track of deadlines. First, most important thing in child custody cases from my perspective. Second, most important thing from my perspective is to disclose. And what that means is you have to disclose to the other side the evidence that you intend to use and the witnesses you intend to call at trial. And you have to do this before the week before trial. You have to do this before the day before trial. So in order to find out by when you have to disclose, you have to look at your local rules. If you don't disclose something by the disclosure deadline, then you could be out of luck and the judge may not let you use it. If you don't disclose an important witness, you may be out of luck and you may not be able to call that person. So that's the second most important thing that you must do in your child custody cases is disclose. And the other side should be doing that too, is disclosing information to you. And they could lose important rights if they don't disclose that information. They could lose important rights if they're not filing responses or meeting their deadlines as well. Okay. So the third most important thing from my perspective is to keep track of your court's minute entries and orders by way of the minute entries, and in particular when you're getting ready for trial. So follow the court's minute entries when it comes to getting ready for trial. In Maricopa County, Arizona, courts give very specific instructions in terms of what you have to do with exhibits, to whom you need to submit them, the form in which they need to be submitted, how they're indexed, and by when. And it also, the Maricopa County Superior Court minute entries also give very specific information about what needs to be included with the pretrial statement and attached to a pretrial statement. So I don't know where you are, but if you're in somewhere other than Arizona, I would look at the court's minute entries when it's a minute entry that sets trial, so you know what it is that you need to do and what you need to not do. Also look at your local rules and your state rules. So those are the 3 most important things from my perspective that you need to do when you're involved in a child custody case. 1, docketing, that's keeping track of deadlines. 2, disclosing information and witnesses. And 3, paying attention to those minute entries, especially the ones that are setting trial, to find out what you have to do.